what is, why did it take so many species to go from the Anunnaki to the Anuhet? Like in that whole evolution of like.
Well, it has to do with the level of consciousness. So remember, a level of consciousness is dependent upon experience. Without experience, you cannot obtain a certain level of consciousness. Experience is what grows your consciousness. And when consciousness decides to incarnate, there will automatically be a body capable of being able to handle the level of consciousness desiring the incarnational experience. So for a species like the Anuhet to come into existence, physical beings need to go through the idea of different experiences that grow them and that push them forward in the evolutionary journey. And that will create a body type capable of handling the frequency of consciousness that you describe as Anuhet.
Have you encountered an Anuhet?
We interact with what you describe as these beings. Yes, yes. Because we are essentially outside of time at this point in our evolution.
Yeah.
So we are able to interact with all types of different future and past based realities in relationship to how you experience linear time. So yes, we have interacted with them.
What's it like to actually interact with the Anuhet? Because I feel
it is very expansive, because even they are not fixed. They also have their own evolutionary journey where they are, in a sense, similar to what you would describe as a wraith in nature. They can materialize and dematerialize. So working with them can be very expansive, because if you wish, you can have more of a solid type of interaction with them. And if you are capable of de-densifying yourself with them, you can explore all types of spiritualized, non-physical realms. So it is very otherworldly. And we learn quite a bit from beings like this, because they can see things that we are unable to see. And in that way, they're able to guide us in our journey as well.
That's pretty expansive, because I remember how it was described before. It wasn't quite elaborated on, so it's good to have like a little more clear.
And remember, what we're sharing here is just one version of that.
Yeah, in multidimensional.
So you'll find other channels. We'll bring through other versions of it. You're all getting pieces of the puzzle through different means.
I know that the last time I spoke to you, I asked about my connections in the Sasani civilization or the Eshkani civilization. And in the last month of having that connection validated, I feel like I've kind of had an overlay of my connection over my actual body. Is that typical?
Yes, because when you become more aware of the connection, your imagination and your subconscious begin to conceptualize the connection. And this can be conscious for you through visualization, but oftentimes it is unconscious. And it translates as a particular type of movie or film playing in the back of your mind that you cannot see. And this configures your nervous system and your aura and how these things function. And that causes the nervous system and the aura to go into resonance with the frequency of whatever the counterpart is or whatever it is your subconscious is tuning into. And that creates what you describe as an overlay effect.
Yeah, I'm guessing one of my counterparts really likes chocolate, because it was kind of took control.
It's not necessarily that they like chocolate in that way, but they are energetically connected to higher frequency energies that are entangled with chocolate.
What's
it's a solar type of energy. They have a strong link to the sun in that way. Oh, okay. Chocolate in that sense corresponds with the sun because it corresponds with your heart. The planetary influencer sphere that is aligned with the heart is the sun. It's a solar center in many ways. So the counterpart has a strong connection to solar energy, to frequencies of what you would call golden light. So you're picking up on that through your relationship with the food you call chocolate.
And chocolate's so good. When you're actually inhabiting Tyler or kind of peering into him, what are some things that you like to actually experience when you're being him, other than like interactions like this?
Well, we don't necessarily peer into him outside of these things.
Oh, okay.
Yes, that's why it's a full-blown state.
Gotcha.
Where he has to sit down and close his eyes, because if he's not doing that, our ability to access his field in the way that we do is rather limited, because this requires both parties to be resonating together. If he's not resonating with us, then the idea is we're not able to go as deep. So generally during his waking state, our deeper interactions with him are limited to these conversations. When there are different types of sleep states, however, it's a little bit different. And if he chooses to resonate with us, then we have interactions. If he chooses something else, then something else happens.